In the hush between skyscrapers and sea breeze, Hong Kong breathes like a vault made of light and silence, a place where money does not shout but whispers. To the untrained eye, it is only another skyline. Yet to the wealthy, it is sanctuary, a city that perfects the art of invisibility. Beneath its neon glow and mirrored banks, old empires meet new ambitions, and fortunes move like tides beneath the surface. Western billionaires and Eastern tycoons alike are drawn here, to an island that stands between power and permission. Hong Kong is not just geography, but philosophy, a belief that wealth, when quiet, multiplies. In a world trembling under sanctions, taxes, and scrutiny, this city offers movement without noise, ownership without exposure, and legacy without borders. This is not escape, it is strategy. This is Hong Kong, the world's discreet heartbeat of wealth. In the shimmer of Victoria Harbor, where neon meets skyline and the sea carries whispers of trade and ambition, Hong Kong stands like a citadel of capital. Here, wealth doesn't sleep, it circulates, multiplying in silence through towers of glass and law. In this compact city, 1 in every 388 homeowners possesses a fortune exceeding 30 million US dollars, a concentration unmatched almost anywhere on Earth. The hum of the markets, the quiet precision of private banks, and the polished anonymity of family offices together form a rhythm, one that beats to the pulse of global wealth. But Hong Kong's magnetism isn't just economic, it's structural. Built upon a common law foundation inherited from its British past and fortified by low taxes, clear regulation, and capital freedom, the city became the perfect vault for the ultra-wealthy. Li Ka-shing, long considered the Superman of Hong Kong, built empires that touched continents while Li Shaoqi amassed fortunes that reshaped skylines. Their legacies carved the financial DNA that now attracts both Western and Asian billionaires alike. In their footsteps came the discreet, the strategic, the global, those who see in Hong Kong not chaos, but clarity. From Mayfair to Manhattan, whispers echo among financial circles. Park it in Hong Kong. For the world's wealthiest, this city is not merely a destination, it's an institution of trust. It offers the rare balance of Eastern opportunity and Western legal assurance, a fusion few other territories can claim. Every offshore account, every property trust, every discreet transfer through Hong Kong's arteries reinforces one truth. Money here doesn't just reside, it breathes. And so, as global economies sway and policies shift, Hong Kong endures, a polished bridge between ambition and preservation, the still point in the storm where the richest quietly anchor their legacies. In Hong Kong, land is not just soil, it is scripture. Every square foot tells a story of desire, ambition, and silent power. The skyline rises not by chance, but by the relentless pressure of scarcity, where the horizon becomes a vault and property transforms into permanence. The ultra-wealthy do not simply buy homes here. They anchor their legacies to stone and glass, turning scarcity into status. At Mount Nicholson, a single parking space once exchanged hands for 10.2 million Hong Kong dollars, a symbol of how value in this city bends reality itself. For billionaires, it's not about shelter. It's about statement, security, and the whisper of eternity that property alone can hold. Li Ka-shing knew this dance well. The way Deepwater Bay glows at dusk, the way land commands both reverence and return. His holdings became emblems of foresight, testaments to a man who understood that the rarest currency in Hong Kong isn't money, but space. For every tower that pierces the clouds, there are countless unseen hands investing through shell companies, trusts, and private vehicles, mechanisms of quiet control. The rich do not chase luxury here. They engineer it, weaving invisibility with ownership, wrapping identity in the protection of corporate veils. And so, the island becomes a chessboard of invisible empires. Beneath the polished floors of Central's penthouses lies a truth. Scarcity is the sculptor of wealth. The fewer the plots, the higher the stakes, the smaller the space, the grander the power. What began as a city of commerce has become a sanctuary for permanence, a place where concrete is more dependable than currency, and glass towers rise as monuments to legacy. In Hong Kong, land does not simply belong to the rich, it defines them. They arrive quietly. The Western elite, not in convoys or headlines, but in paper trails and private seals. Their signatures appear in places where names disappear, on shell companies, trusts, and special purpose vehicles that own what they never touch. In Hong Kong, these invisible hands build invisible empires. The city has become the quiet vault of global confidence, a convergence point for those seeking discretion with dignity. Here, capital finds calm amid chaos, a refuge between regulation and opportunity. The streets of Central may hum with noise, but behind the mirrored windows lies stillness, the rhythm of money resting. Bob Prince, the American financier, once anchored his trust in Kadoorie Hill with a 95 million Hong Kong dollars home, a transaction that spoke less of luxury and more of strategy. For many like him, Hong Kong offers something few Western havens can: proximity to Asia's heartbeat, yet protection through a Western lens of law and order. Its common law system and tax neutrality form an invisible architecture that shelters fortune from volatility. For every Western billionaire who appears in the headlines, there are dozens more whose presence is felt only in property deeds and trust ledgers. Their investments do not shout. They whisper through marble halls and private elevators, echoing through structures that seem to rise without origin. In the grand choreography of global wealth, Hong Kong is not the stage. It is the vault beneath it. The Western rich do not come here to gamble. They come to park. They diversify across continents, building moats around empires that must outlive politics, pandemics, and perception. In their calculus, risk is noise, and Hong Kong, even in its storms, hums with quiet order. The West calls it asset placement. Hong Kong calls it permanence. And in that shared silence between strategy and sanctuary, wealth finds not a home, but a hiding place. If Western wealth arrives like a whisper, Chinese wealth thunders in waves. From the mainland's vast industrial empires to Hong Kong's glass towers, capital flows with the force of heritage and ambition. The ultra-rich from across the Pearl River see Hong Kong not as foreign ground, but as familiar soil, a bridge between control and freedom, tradition and global reach. Their billions move through trust funds, family offices, and shell entities registered in silence. Each transfer a choreography of caution and intent. Here, wealth does not wander. It returns home, dressed in legal armor and guided by legacy. Pan Sudong, the Hong Kong magnate once known for navigating tax loopholes and property leverage, stands as both symbol and warning. His story mirrors the city itself, bold, relentless, and dangerously intertwined with speculation. Around him orbit the titans of Hong Kong's native wealth: Li Ka-shing, who turned land into legend, and Li Shaoqi, whose empire rises like a hymn to foresight. Yet beyond their names lies a rising class of mainland moguls, those who built fortunes in Shenzhen or Shanghai, then crossed the harbor to anchor them in safer tides. For them, Hong Kong is not an escape. It is insurance against policy shifts, political storms, or the tightening grip of oversight. 80% of Hong Kong's super-luxury deals, worth over 300 million Hong Kong dollars, now trace back to mainland buyers. Towers glitter, land prices soar, and the skyline thickens with the weight of preserved wealth. The city, already gilded, becomes a living vault. But with every penthouse purchased and parking bay priced in millions, a new story unfolds, one of disparity and dependence. Hong Kong thrives on their inflows, yet trembles under their gravity. Still, the billionaires continue to pour in, building sanctuaries in the clouds, while the city below learns to breathe through the weight of fortune. For in the end, Hong Kong has become both their mirror and their masterpiece, a place where every reflection is wealth looking back at itself. In the realm of the ultra-rich, risk is never avoided. It is managed, mapped, and quietly mastered. Hong Kong stands as their sanctuary, a rare island where regulation meets freedom and law speaks the language of global finance. Beneath its skyline of mirrored towers lies a legal backbone built on British common law, stable, trusted, and transparent enough to cradle billions in silence. For the world's wealthiest, this city is not merely a marketplace. It is a vault wrapped in legitimacy. They do not come for chaos or yield. They come for certainty. Here, Inheritance finds structure, and secrecy finds shelter. Every trust fund, family office, and private vehicle tells a story of protection. Western billionaires who once bet on Silicon Valley now anchor their fortunes in Hong Kong's steady rhythm, far from volatile tax regimes and unpredictable regulations. Their lawyers and wealth managers move capital like poets of discretion through shell companies, cross-border trusts, and investment conduits that merge invisibility with precision. For Chinese tycoons, the motive runs deeper, preserving legacy through global diversification while staying tethered to a financial system that feels both foreign and familiar. Hong Kong becomes the in-between, East in spirit, West in structure, and in that balance, it wins the trust of those who fear disruption more than taxation. This is not the gambling of markets. It is the choreography of preservation. From London's hedge fund corridors to Shenzhen's high-rises, the same conclusion echoes. Hong Kong remains a strategic constant in an age of geopolitical noise. Its risk is its resilience, its openness, its quiet defiance. Even as global regulators tighten transparency rules and digital currencies redraw financial maps, the world's wealth still circles this city like pilgrims to a modern shrine. For in Hong Kong, money does not sleep. It waits, patient and protected, beneath the glow of a skyline that learned long ago. Stability is the richest currency of all. Beneath the glow of Hong Kong's skyline, the shimmering glass towers, the million-dollar parking spots, the penthouses that kiss the clouds, lies a quieter truth, one written in rent receipts and sleepless nights. Every influx of capital, every offshore trust, every discreet transfer of wealth leaves ripples that reach far beyond boardrooms. For locals, the city has become a paradox, rich beyond measure, yet out of reach. Homes have turned into investment vaults. Neighborhoods once filled with laughter now echo with vacancy. The poor do not see wealth, they feel its shadow. Each record-breaking sale is a reminder that the city's soil has become too costly for its own children to stand upon. As the ultra-wealthy park their fortunes in real estate and hidden accounts, the streets whisper of imbalance. The price of safety for one becomes the weight of struggle for another. Teachers, nurses, and young professionals watch as property dreams dissolve into statistics, while a single parking space can sell for the price of a lifetime's wage. The city bends beneath its own brilliance, shimmering like gold leaf over widening cracks. Yet, the blame is not simple. Global capital moves where it is welcomed, and Hong Kong, with its open markets and tax havens, has long extended the invitation. In this dance between opportunity and inequality, no step comes without consequence. And still, the city breathes, resilient, restless, radiant. The question that lingers is not of wealth, but of worth. Can Hong Kong remain both a home and a haven, both a sanctuary for billions and a shelter for belonging? The world watches as its skyline glows brighter, yet its foundations tremble softer. The rich may find safety in its laws, but the people must find space in its soul. For every fortune built upon its land, there must come a reckoning. Who pays the price, and who inherits the silence? Tomorrow whispers through the towers of Central like wind between glass and steel. The question no one asks aloud hums beneath the surface. How long can the current of global capital keep flowing into Hong Kong before it changes course? The same forces that built its empire of finance, secrecy, stability, and trust now stand before shifting tides of regulation and reform. Across oceans, the West sharpens its gaze, tightening transparency laws and demanding accountability from wealth once cloaked in discretion. Beijing, too, watches, its policies weaving quietly into the city's financial bloodstream. Between these two powers, Hong Kong remains a bridge, delicate, dazzling, and trembling with the weight of what comes next. If the river of money slows, the city will need to breathe differently. Property markets may cool, the speculative heat may fade into tempered realism. The ultra-rich, once anchored in its real estate and banking corridors, may turn their eyes to Singapore, Dubai, or even digital frontiers. Yet Hong Kong's strength has never been only its skyline, it has been its pulse. A rhythm born of resilience, commerce, and adaptation. For every shift in policy, there rises a new current of reinvention. Perhaps, in the next era, wealth will not just be parked but repurposed, redirected toward innovation, green finance, and rebuilding the balance lost in decades of opulence. The story is not ending, it is evolving. The city stands on the threshold of its next metamorphosis, holding both fragility and fortune in the same breath. What happens next will not be decided by billionaires alone, but by how Hong Kong remembers itself, as more than a vault, more than a market, but as a mirror to the world's desire for permanence in a transient age. And as dawn rises again over Victoria Harbor, the reflection shimmers not only with wealth, but with a question that every empire must face. After the flow of riches, what remains of the soul? In this story of vaulted towers and quiet ledgers, the world's richest find two kinds of refuge in Hong Kong: the visible grandeur of local titans and the discreet sanctuary of foreign capital. On the local side, names ring through the city like tides: Li Ka-shing, whose holdings through C.K. Hutchison and C.K. Asset Management shaped waterfronts and port empires; Li Shaoqi, the Henderson Land founder whose real estate reach rewrote city maps; Henry Chung and the New World family casting long shadows across mixed-use developments; Joseph Lau and his sprawling property interests; and Pan Sudong, whose golden financial and property bets illustrate how local capital negotiates loopholes and leverage. These actors invest with intent, turning scarcity into permanence and shaping markets that ripple through daily life. Opposite them, foreign players arrive more softly, but no less decisively. Institutional vehicles and family offices, and the Western elite who use them, plant claims through trusts, SPVs, and shell companies that blur ownership and sharpen protection. Some names surface: Bob Prince of Bridgewater Associates, whose high-value purchase in Kadoorie Hill made headlines and exemplified a Western calculus: proximity to Asia's markets paired with legal reassurance. Behind headlines, countless other Western billionaires and funds move capital quietly, preferring privacy through corporate veils, while sovereign and institutional buyers repurpose Hong Kong as an asset hub and regional gateway. Together, these forces have rewoven Hong Kong's economy, lifting skylines and pricing neighborhoods beyond local reach. The result is a city that balances prosperity and pressure, a place where law and liquidity lure global fortunes even as community struggle grows beneath the shine. As we close, remember this: Hong Kong will continue to be shaped not only by those who park wealth here, but by the policies, people, and purpose that govern its future. If wealth is a mirror, then the city must decide which reflection it wishes to hold. Thank you for watching AsiaEyeWithin. If this episode moved you, subscribe, like, and share to keep the conversation alive, because the story of money is also the story of people, and we'll keep following both.